Hey, why should the fun-fi companies in Asia have all the fun when Cambridge Audio in England has some downsized products that might just play to your audiophile upside? Did that make any sense? It sounded good when I wrote it. Hi, I'm Bob, and you are back in United States of Analog. And I'm doing great. Thanks for asking. How you doing out there? Where are you viewing from? It's always interesting to me. Put it in the comments below, and while you're down there, just go ahead and subscribe if you think you might like this video or like this channel. Okay, listen, today I've got two products from Cambridge Audio that go together probably better than Noel and Liam Gallagher. How's that for a UK reference? Yeah, these components really work well together. They're designed to work well together. The MXN10 network player, or streamer you would call it, and the MXW70 70-watt Class D amplifier. More about those in just a second. Let me first say that, in full disclosure, I've been a Cambridge Audio fan for a while, and I've got to know some of the people that represent them through audio shows and things like that, and they're super great. In fact, they're so into music, even their business cards feature their favorite songs. And I kind of like that when a big company can be more human and really put the music first. These components, like other components in the Cambridge line, like the Evo 150 behind me, and they speak to my sensibilities in that the design language is simple and classic. Not a lot of frill, but it's always well-built equipment that sounds great and comes in at price points that most of us can afford. So good on you, Cambridge Audio. What makes these so interesting is that I don't know if they're half size. I think they're half width and maybe 3/4 of the depth of the 150 behind me. These size components are more akin to the components you see from fun-fi companies, and Cambridge wanted to jump into the game because they realized that not everybody has unlimited space to lay out 18-inch wide components. This is a short stack, and you can make it a little taller by sandwiching a DAC Magic DAC from Cambridge Audio. But these two components will work fine on their own, but I'm going to give you a couple tips before the end just to make sure that you get the best performance out of this gear. I guess we should start with the MXN10 streamer or network player. Inside is the 9033Q DAC. It's a workhorse. It's a good sounding DAC. Now, like I said, you can always improve it by adding your own DAC somewhere in the middle or off to the side, or slide that DAC Magic in there. But they give you a solid DAC built in, so you don't have to overcomplicate this setup. But it offers Apple AirPlay 2, Chromecast built in, Roon Ready, along with Spotify Connect, Tidal Connect, Qobuz, which I use, and Deezer. Connectivity includes Ethernet, Wi-Fi, and Bluetooth 5.0. Physical outputs include RCA line out, coaxial digital, and optical if you want to connect your own DAC. There's high-res support, PCM up to 32 bits, 768, DSD up to DSD 512. And I may have mentioned it already, but it's Roon Ready, so Roon away. USB for mass storage. Now you can stack these items, or you can put them side by side, or you can put them cockeyed like in this photo. I don't recommend that, but I thought it looked cool.
Kind of punk rock.
And it hosts so many audio formats. Dimensions 8.5 inches wide, 2 inches tall, and 7.5 inches deep. Don't forget to leave a little extra space for those terminals and those Bluetooth antennae. There are 2 of them. Now, I downloaded the Stream Magic app. You're going to want to do that because no remote control is needed. So if you're one of those people that loses your remote controls, this is the system for you. Then I physically connected the network player with my Ethernet cable, and I was off and running within just a few minutes. Super easy to set up. Again, there'll be a couple things I want you to do before you start playing music, but let me get to the next component, the MXW70 Class D amplifier. Yeah, I know, I said it, it's Class D. Once again, in the United States of Analog, we delve into the digital, but it's all analog once it hits your ear, and when it hits your ear, it's pretty good because this is the class-leading Hypex Encore. You're getting 70 watts on each side at 8 ohms, 125 into 4, and these have a switch so you can bridge them into mono and get a whopping 250 on each side. But you're going to need 2, and these are $599 USD. The network player comes in at $499. So we're at $1,100 bucks, which is pretty reasonable for a great network player. and a powerful amplifier that's not going to take up too much of your space. Great for small and medium rooms, great for near-field listening. You can connect these two units with a trigger cable. The network player has presets. You can set all kinds of things in there. I used it to preset some internet radio stations. The app has all kinds of functionality, including a 7-band equalizer. You can tailor your sound depending on if you live in an architectural digest kind of house or whether you live in a country living kind of house. Hard surfaces, soft surfaces. You don't notice that much of a difference, but you can A/B it and hear it for yourself. It's not optimum, but it's pretty cool because a lot of us don't want to spend a half an hour dialing in room correction when we can spend a half hour listening to glorious music. There is no display screen on this network player, and I don't have a problem with it. I like streamers that have screens. I'm not opposed to them, but I find most of the time from my listening position, there's just not enough to see. There's not enough real estate there. You know what? This is your screen right here. And, when you really think about it, when you're holding this up about this far from your face, this would be equivalent to like a 12-inch screen on a network player. That wouldn't be possible, but that's the kind of viewing angle that you have. Did I mention you won't lose your remote control because there isn't one? Again, about $1,100 for this system. You can add the DAC Magic, but let's just take a closer look, see what I'm missing. Oh yeah, you do have balanced inputs on the MXW70. You have a switch to go balanced or unbalanced, and a switch for stereo or bridges to mono, and of course you would normally, unless you have two of these, keep it on stereo. That's pretty much it. Super simple, and this is a little 70-watt powerhouse that you can use with other gear you might have. You're definitely not locked in, and the same with the network player. If you just want to get the network player and connect it to other gear that you're planning on getting or already have, you can do that too. It has the flexibility, very good functionality, a great app, a design language that some people might feel is too simple, while other people will really dig it. So do I have any nitpicks about this little stack, this short stack here? Well, don't expect this little amp to fill up a giant living room with sound. Again, like most of the kind of fun-fi amplifiers I've reviewed and smaller amplifiers, digital amps, you may be better off with a more high-efficiency speaker to get the biggest sound. I noticed in my case, my Chesky LC1s were a little quieter than, the Klipsch Forte 4s. It drove both of those great, but there's just a little difference in volume. You may have a situation that might require more power. That's not to say that this is underpowered at all, but bigger rooms are going to need bigger sound. That's just common sense, which I normally know little about. Now, when you get this stack, there's two things I want you to do before you hear one note of music, and this is very important because I don't want you to blow out your speakers. Well, and if you're careful and you have any sense at all, you're not going to blow out any speakers, but I want you to go into the Stream Magic app first. Go to the network player settings and set the preamp to on. That way you can control the volume with the app, and then go ahead, load some music. Don't play the music yet. See where the volume is. Go down to like 40 or 50%, then start playing, and then figure out where your comfort level is with volume. Again, that's just common sense, but I didn't do that the first time I connected this. See, I don't have common sense, and I got a pretty loud bark from my speakers. It didn't do anything bad or anything. It just kind of shocked me. That's my advice. Set to preamp, adjust your volume, then start playing your music, and then you'll get accustomed to all the settings. Then go in, do the room stuff, the equalization, play around with the presets and all that. $1,100, cool stack, easy to set up, easy to use, easy on the eyes. I can't say enough about the MXW70 and the MXN10 as a great little system for your bedroom, your office, a small room, medium-sized room. Just depends on your speakers and what kind of sound you want. That's it. That's probably 75% of the stuff I wanted to say. As far as the sound signature, yeah, okay, all right, yeah, the sound signature. You know what? That's just going to depend on your speakers, really, and the settings that you choose to make inside the Stream Magic app. You want more treble, add more treble. You want more bass, add more bass. Oh, that's one thing I did forget, no subwoofer out. So that may be a deal breaker for some people, but I was able to coax out a pretty good amount of bass with that room adjustment and with the equalizer. So have fun with that. There's nothing to fear. I know sometimes we feel a little weird about tone controls and things like that, but they're there for a reason. You know, we don't want to add more expense to a system like this with a subwoofer, do we? Nah, just go with this. This is probably a second system anyway. So that's it. Thank you for being here in United States of Analog. If you have a little more time, and you probably don't because I probably went on too long, but there is another video for you to watch because the geniuses at YouTube have already decided this is the one they want you to see. They've run the numbers. They probably monitor your phone, and oh, it's going to pop up right here any second. There it is, right there. Thanks for being here in United States of Analog. Lots of stuff to show you in the weeks ahead. Please come back, and don't forget to like, subscribe, and hit that notification bell. Cheers.